call. Two out of them the river.
No way. I probably heard that one over the microphone then.
Six fold. 7 calls option. C8 raise 75,000. 6-7 fold. Should be 100 minutes. C2 raise 50,000. Yeah, right, still on. 3 fold. 6 fold, 7 fold, 50.
Right. I think the clock's displaying the break wrong. The clock's displaying the break wrong. Should be 100 minutes, right? Yeah. Should be 100 minutes.
See 8 calls. 1 calls. 3 runners. C8 check. C1 check. 2 bets 30,000. C8 raise 100,000. C1 fold. C2 calls. Heads up. C8 check. C2 check. C8 bets 125,000.
table, but yes. I'll take a 15 minutes, but I'm just about to move table.
4. C2 raise 400. Hit 8 fold.
Been happy about it. What's the been saying? Okay, you've just been cruising.
Name of the game lately.
Yep. Okay, so not playing cruise.
Guys, want to rejoin, please?
All right, people players, in the 15K main event, our redrawn to the top 24 is on the screen. Head over to table 1 and 2 and the feature table, please.
Good luck.
Oh yeah, I hate the ones. Especially on this table.
You know we're redrawing?
Did you check? We're redrawing. Very awful. Yes.
Jacob, please do check out, please.
What seat are you? Hey,
What are you? 7.
Oh, Carmen's on my right.
C2? 6, 7, 8.
Makes sense.
All poker players, ABT main event flight seat is your 90-second course. Start taking your seats as we're about to commence.
There is no phones allowed on the feature table at all. If you do need to use your phone, feel free to walk outside. I don't mind you guys using your headset so you can listen to music. There's no ban on that. But please, no phones on the live stream.
925. C5. 6,000.
I didn't know who that was in seat 3 because you very rarely see Malcolm training without a hat. Getting a massage there from the lovely girls at Best Hands Shiatsu Massage.
4-fold.
Interesting here that
6-fold.
Malcolm's opt for flat off 21 with Ace Queen versus Alex under the gun, and
Jared here on the big blind with King 10.
I didn't even know Jared was at the table. And look at this, it just gets better and better.
Besides, with those two in, he might get out of the way.
Most players would look to defend there, and it's interesting to see Jared pitch that one, but probably a function of how strong these ranges are. Lots of traps in Malcolm's range as well.
Check.
At this depth. It's got the ace of clubs working, so interesting to see how we'll proceed. Comes with check.
That would have been
Jared would have,
Jared's king.
Very nice. Alex might look, God, he'd look to bet on in some capacity, and he looks inquisitive. The size he comes with, no check. Malcolm's hand might just be a little too good to start bluffing. Right, both players might be looking to get this one to showdown, but they'll know, and we'll see. Interesting river. Be surprised if Malcolm doesn't go for value once check 2. Alex is going to look to bluff.
45,000.
Loves to see how Malcolm proceeds here. That ace of clubs working too, don't forget.
It's just a little bet there, 45k.
For value and get a snap bid from Alex.
And working our way down on the final table 2 of the Tltp.
Kenny has only all the chips on the table, and of course I think it could have worked out pretty well the way we've tried to stream both of these. Obviously being 4 left there and being able to commentate on the highest caliber of Australian player, trying to bring you the Dracarkas updates as well. Hopefully you haven't missed out too much on that.
Yeah, as I said before we went on the break, just a bit of a quirk in the scheduling for this one. The Dracarkas, we would always have the final table on the stream, but showed a fair bit of that event yesterday, and now with this 15k main event, got to get these players on the stream. It's just been fascinating as Linsky picks up the queens.
225,000.
Interesting how Jordan Westmoreland proceeds here. It's a spot where Alex is going to have a lot of bluffs. But Jordan won't be going anywhere just yet. Button versus big blind. As Jordan Westmoreland sizes up this spot, I feel like, is he cutting out a 4-bet? No.
7 calls.
It's a call.
Heads up.
What about a queen 4 deuce for Payne?
Or a couple of aces.
I mean, Alex is still going to really love his hand here. couple of 5 or 10 minutes behind us. Loving your input, I really am, but
Yeah,
you might be a little bit in front of you.
I would say refresh your browser.
Because if you want to chime in, I love the comment.
Yes, absolutely. They're just about 5 minutes behind.
Exactly.
Right. Or very slow internet.
As Jordan is going to find it tough to fold to this size. Alex coming with 2 BBs. SPR just over 1.5. Really interested to see how Alex proceeds in a spot such as this. These button versus big blind spots, the intricacies of the game are really fascinating. Alex is going to feel like he's going to have the best hand a lot of the time still.
2 bets, 135,000.
I don't think Jordan can fold just yet. Obviously picking up that gutter on the turn as Alex going small small in this spot. But he makes the right decision. What would we know up in here, Harvey? It's interesting there that picking up that gutter, and obviously we know our hand is no good. It's a function of that small size. I thought Jordan Westmoreland could have been inquisitive enough to see a river, but makes a very disciplined fold and feels like a really well played hand by both players. I love seeing the sizes Alex uses in these spots.
Just a question there from Beaver King, who's obviously a fan of that American amphibious animal, I would say. Is Joe Hasham still in? Yes, Joe is on one of the outside tables, one of the 23 still left here.
5 folds and 6 folds.
And it is...
There's a 15k buy in this one. We had the 7,500 a couple of days ago.
Taken out by...
50,000.
Guess who?
Unbelievable effort. Cale Burns adding a Tltp opening event to his multiple bracelets and high roller victories. I got the opportunity to get a very, very rare interview from Cale Burns, and man, a few words, very private, very good fella, and was really, really generous with his time. And you'll see that interview come up on our socials in the next couple of days. I put Cale on the spot a little bit. We have a very good, we have a good mutual friend outside of poker, and he wanted me to ask Cale about where he took the boys out to dinner after he won the 100k Aussie Millions high roller for 1.3 million. And I was reliably informed that he shouted the boys to a very prestigious, expensive dinner at KFC.
Oh no.
1.3 million to KFC, and all he wanted was chicken strips. And it's a story that apparently stayed with Cale for many, many years, and I don't think he liked it too much that I brought that up, but it was all in good fun.
Geez, it's actually not that bad that Dipper took us out for kebabs after
you're
winning.
doing all right.
Because he only won 45k and took us for kebabs, so that was nice of him.
Oh, goodness me.
Dipper also just been knocked out of that final table at the Drakakis over on the other side of the floor. I saw both him and Tony in deep discussion about their knockouts. Tony got absolutely hammered. He was so far ahead. And
do you know, are you...
Yeah, I am aware. I do know that he had it in with lots and lots of... he was miles ahead, but he was miles ahead, and his opponent hit a gutter on the river.
I want to just interject here as we'll see one of Blinsky's lightest opens here, I would assume would be Jack 8 offsuit. We do see that. Now, depending how this board texture runs out, we might just get a little bit of an insight into how Alex has always got so many chips. Obviously, is one of his lightest openings. It's going to be really interesting to see how he proceeds. Malcolm just folding the King Jack. As Jared Thatcher would say, that was a little greedy. But Alex obviously is going to be playing such a high percentage of hands from the button, even raising into Malcolm. But interesting to see that. And it might, if we're just watching at home, we'll just see that it was a button raise, big blind defend, C-bet fold. But I find it really interesting that Jack 8's one of those hands that Alex feels he can raise into Malcolm, and Malcolm will find that out in about half an hour.
Fold, 6 fold.
Of course, over the last couple of days, we mentioned, due to Thomas Ward's incredible run, we mentioned the New Zealand all-time money list numerous times in our stream, and Thomas being third on that list. The other two players are in the room, Hamish Crawshaw second, and actually Hamish Crawshaw fourth, Lee Nelson in second, but the all-time money earner, number 1 in New Zealand, is in seat 4 on our table. Of course, Sozia, such an accomplished player for an extended period of time, very successful businesswoman as well.
2 raise, 130,000.
A part of that New Zealand State of Origin side, and we'll see Sozia here. We'll see her play a hand. Oh no, sorry, it's gone raise 3-bet. My bad. I didn't follow along the action, but Sozia, of course, number 1 on the all-time money earning list, and she might be there for a while because Lee Nelson, obviously in second. If he's still around, but won the Aussie Millions about 2 decades ago.
I guarantee you one of the things that will change in that State of Origin, and probably something I was a bit surprised about, even with this one, is that there were only 2 females representing their state and the international team, and she was obviously one of them.
Sozia and
one of the China, one of the China international team. Can't tell you who off the top, but that is one of the real changing dynamics in poker in this country.
Well, what about when we were on stream in the Gold Coast? Every second event was taken out by a female. It was unbelievable. Obviously, Jade Mitchell's got a countless amount of APT trophies.
Well, you know how Jade's been going here. Jade's had a win and 2 seconds here.
Has she really?
Yeah, she has. So she's flying.
She's unbelievable, Jade. Affectionately known as Crusher, Jade Crusher Mitchell, and that's got to be upwards of 10 APT trophies. It's an incredible record.
2-6 fold.
Be interesting to see if the rule change, because if we are a captain of the state side picking a team, it's going to be mandatory to have 1 female in or 2, or are we going to let the devices pick up, let the captain to their own devices of what team they're going to pick, because obviously still as much ground as we've made. I think it was upwards of 10 females had won an APT trophy at that last series. Still very underrepresented in the community as a whole, for sure. So doing all we can here. We've got 3 female APT ambassadors on board as well now.
I'd like to think, mate, to be honest with you, that you pick your best team, and I'd hate, even I'm sure the girls wouldn't even be happy that they're getting in because they're female, and I think we have enough talent out there that those girls can get in on their own.
You know what? You know what is so funny about it? You said that. That is 100. I know Jade for sure. That is 100% true, because she's made that comment to you many, many times. She's like, I'm not a female player. I'm a player.
Yep.
I'm a player. She absolutely, certainly is a player. So you are right. But it's a nice debate to have.
So Travis already has the tick mark here on the turn with 3 9s.
75,000, 75, 65 bets, 75,000, 53 folds.
And here we see Malcolm with another,
Horrible
it's probably definitely
Without betting that. Head 9.
an open
Didn't go well last time.
on the lighter side for sure. And just getting a little glimpse into how players like Malcolm and Alex approach these live fields. I feel like maybe King 7
Alrighty, players, unfortunately, Stacker, you are on a 15-minute
Is
break.
on the lower end
Nearly
of our
died.
opens here as we're going to pick up more footage from the Drakakis final table.
No, I think this might be what's going on outside in this event. Anyway, we'll wait for the end of this hand. We just, our production team doing such a great job. We see a little preview here of
60% of river cards on one race.
the outside camera.
The top pair.
As I see Jared Thatcher just
In position.
emotionless there in seat 8. You want to know what Jared said to me about this tournament yesterday? This is how good this field is.
I understand.
Jared Thatcher, one of the best players in the country, didn't want to sit because he thought he was the spot. So if Jared Thatcher thinks that he's the spot, that tells you how high quality of a poker coverage we're going to have for the next day and a half.
You have to front up $300.
So this one could be all about who bets here. Jinxie, it's a massive chance of a split pot, but just have to see if the aggressor takes it down.
I feel like too, obviously we've got those backdoor hearts working here for Alex, but a board where, you know, we're nearly always betting our entire range, and Raphael is going to have the best hand a lot of the time, and we'll see a turn. As we do see those outs, it's not quite
Yeah, it's
his outs. They're outs to chop as our coverage, and we get a little bit of a show there from Adam's newly trimmed down rig.
it's looking good, Adam, and
Oh, it's the first thing I said to me when he walked through the door during the week. Adam's been overseas for 6 months and I haven't seen him for a long time, and he walked in and I'm like, mate, you look unbelievable. And
So one of those very few cards that wasn't going to be a split came out as the 4.
you know the only reason it happened is because you said it's likely going to be a split. And Alex is going to take his hand to showdown, and he's going to have a wry smile knowing that he's good.
Thanks for joining us, Lucy. 54 starters here, as you can see, up in that top corner, top right corner. That's the starters and how many are left in the field.
Interesting
All right, guys, just a reminder, the
question
Sportelli
from you,
Snack
Josh,
Bar
about
is
if
still
we
open.
attack
It's open for
this
another
tournament
hour.
like we did the 7.5K in terms of our redraw, which Didier obviously instrumental in putting these structures together for the high roller series. Open to playing it around with a little bit, but we weren't mistaken when we went down to
$300
4 6-max tables. We thought the final table was going to be a 7, and it was a 9, and I believe this will be a final table of 8. I do want to confirm that with Didier. He's toying with the idea potentially in the future as well. Obviously always open to feedback, but toying with the potential idea of having a redraw at 28, 4 tables of 7, and basically that takes us as a 7-handed from 28 all the way down to the end, which could make a lot more sense instead of having a 6-max redraw, then a final table of 9. Maybe, you know, the final 4 tables being 7-handed the whole way could be the way to go, but obviously always wanting to take on board player feedback. As we don't know what Raf has decided to jam here, but it's enough for, I reckon, 20 bigs. 23, close enough. We don't have those graphics. I was just trying to count the chips, and Travis does have a decision here, but it's going to have to go into the mark. Travis, extremely studied player, and playing with Travis for quite a while. He'll likely mouth a few comments to himself and pitch this one in.
You know him well.
You never know.
Agree with you, Josh, 100%. As we cut to a little bit
No,
of footage.
we were going
Right,
to.
okay.
We're dealing this hand a bit quick. We don't want to miss anything.
I've never worked in TV. This is as close to TV work as I've done,
Yeah,
Harvey.
well,
You've worked in TV a long time.
Well, you know, my background is actually production, so
Common occurrence that would be, maybe.
I come onto a mic or a camera very rarely. A camera extremely rarely now. But yeah, the production is definitely my end.
I've already had so many fun hands. I want to go look at. So many good ones.
We do have a camera in here, but I don't think we're putting it up at the moment.
3 raised, 50,000.
I'll wait till a much more attractive co-host
You and me
comes in.
both. You and me both.
Oh no, you're a very attractive man, Mr. Jinx. You
5 fold.
get out there and there's my hand. Play it, Raph, play it.
6 fold.
Nah.
7 fold.
The nice hand yesterday where that 10-8 suited came up, and you've mentioned that is my favourite non-premium starting hand. It was folded, and of course 2 10s came out on the flop.
Absolutely. Always the way. Do you remember mine? Discussed it a couple of times.
We have. It was not as good as that hand.
It's a lot worse. It's a lot worse.
Was it 9-2 or
No, a bit more connected. A bit more connected. Did you have a favourite suit? Did you say, or just 10-8 suited?
Just suited. Yeah.
Nah, I've got to go with 7-5 of spades
Okay.
specifically.
Right.
4 fold.
So Malcolm, the Ace King suited.
6 fold. 7 fold. 8
Don't know if
fold.
he's going to get a taker here.
Well, let's put it
Of course,
this
he's
way.
getting a taker. It's Alex.
Linsky's defending 95% of hands, and he did defend the 5-3 off, so we're definitely going to see a flop at the 8-4 suited. Interesting with the backdoor diamonds here for both players. It's a board we'd look to bet a lot of our range with if we're Malcolm. He does proceed to do it. Get a snap fold from Alex.
We might get a chance to see that little shot of what we've got going on.
We got that.
There we've got there.
Rub your eyes. That is definitely the great Dan
Joe Hasham, you can see, is there, still part of the field. What are the notables can you see there?
Andreas Vasquez, I see there. There's Jungle Man. I see Luke Martinelli on the other table. Angel Gillian on the right of Andreas. Yun Kang I saw as well. Doesn't matter how the final table ends up. It's going to be all quality as we have an interesting spot showing here.
7 fold. 8
I'm
fold.
going to come with call with a lot of the time versus +1. If it does that, haven't played it up with Raf, and we have a really nice defend from
2 calls.
Adam Carmen.
3 runners.
This could be a spicy one.
Well,
2 check.
sort of nothing for anyone, but nice flop for the 2 middle pairs. Those guys will be thinking we're a good show here.
Wouldn't mind probing here with 9s for small. Check, good too. Yes, does go with check, but I feel like we've got to protect.
2
I
check.
know with Sozi's good enough to check a lot of our range out of position here, but you know, 9's very vulnerable on a board like this. We could have the best hand some of the time.
4 check.
Protect against those king queens and ace jacks and queen jacks. This one's going to check through again.
6 check.
Get behind this from all parties.
And that's a killer card, you'd imagine.
I wonder if, I mean, if Adam decides to bluff, it will work. Not really the run out we look to bluff. Have too many bluffs on, but Adam seizes any opportunity he can on a pot. Just it's too bad of a run out for his range. Just going to check down, and Raf's going to win with a pocket 9s.
4 check. 6 check. Showdown. We have Jack high. We have a pair of 8s.
Yeah, interesting, Raf. I mean, you know, you're a way better player than me, but, you know, I find it a bit interesting there that Raf hasn't bet out on the flop there with a pair of 9s.
He can bet or check, so I think that...
but he then allowed an ace and then allowed a queen, you know.
obviously it's not... I mean, you do say that, but like, you know, there are certain hands on this board that do need protection. 9s could be one of them, but I definitely think that Adam being in the big blind, and we've got to remember our opponent under the gun is also uncapped, and so's you're in +1. Even though it is check 2, she can still have all those really good hands like aces, kings. She has all the sets as well. So I definitely think that wouldn't have been a poor decision either way to go bet or check, and I think mainly because Sozia being uncapped, we do see a check there, and we look to try and get our hand to showdown on a spot where 9s is rarely good, and that was one of the rare times.
Yeah. And I just think that, you know, as a recreational player, and I'm never going to be sitting on a table like this, your tendency always is that if you reckon you're ahead on the flop, you bet. It's just, it just is, you know. It's just the way that we play it, and hope that the others fold. Yeah, that's sort of what you're hoping for usually.
Also
I mean,
true.
you know, I sit there with that. If I'm sitting with those 9s, my thought there is, well, you know, if someone's coming with an overpair or happen to have a 10, you know, it's just really bad luck. But I'm not going to give someone a check opportunity to see another overcard and potentially another overcard on the river. I mean, you know, I just feel that. But that's, again, I think that's a sort of a very recreational type player.
It's funny you say that, though. It's funny you say that, though. Like, you word it like that, and, you know, most good pros would just bet their hand to deny equity and bet, you know, bet can be designed to protect our hand. What you're saying is literally the same thing as what I'm saying. It's just a different term. But
right.
I think that also trying to get into the mind of these players who are playing 15Ks, that I think in multi-way spots are extremely complicated, especially when we've got a hand of 3 very good regs. So Adam Carman, Sozia's the leading money earner in New Zealand. Adam Carman's one of the best in the country. And Raf sitting there with pocket 9s, knowing that Sozia's still uncapped. Adam can put us, you know, probably not a flop we get put in a lot of really big spots on, but it is possible. And multi-way spots you'll see are very under-bluffed in the general population, but not this population. This is a $15,000 buy-in, and if we're going to see multi-way bluffs, it's going to be here. So I think you'll find a lot of players, even at this level, will still be a little cautious multi-way and just opt for the cautious route when we're free-handed. Very rare to be multi-way in this buy-in level as well. You know, poker definitively is a heads-up game, and you know, we're very rarely going to see a 4-way hand at this level, and 3-way rare. So Raf just choosing to try and get that hand to showdown, and he did, and she was the winner. So obviously we're getting into the weeds a little bit with multi-way betting and bluffing, and it's really, really difficult to decipher how to proceed in multi-way pots for sure and certain, as Alex has got too many chips and flicks one across to Sozia. But just something for the viewer at home to think about. And, you know, if we're recreational and want to take the game a little seriously, that's how we start thinking about our hands. And just trying to give a little bit of insight at this buy-in level. I mean, never played a 15K before, a couple of 10Ks, but, you know, these guys are just on another level to, you know, you and I. So,
but I can also totally see how, the way I was describing it, I might pick up 2 or 3 medium-sized pots, but I keep going like that, and eventually I'm going to get involved in a big pot and probably lose all my money. So
that's correct.
Yeah.
It's very correct. Very correct. And if you can decipher that,
yeah,
that's a good trait to have as a player. As Travis think you'll have 6 outs usually if he wants to proceed here. 3 of those have been folded. Got that backdoor heart working. Interesting spot here because Sozia's decided to raise the 3-4 suited blind versus blind. It's got Travis pretty dead here. She doesn't know that. We will be seeing a turn. Interesting turn card here. We block a lot of these Queen X hands. Sozia can raise and have played like this after checking the flop. Queen Jack, Queen 10. Suzu, even after raising pre, might want to look to get this to showdown. Proves me very wrong within 2 seconds as she decides to bet for value, I guess.
Good luck, everyone.
Opts for small as we lose Raphael. This will be the end of this hand, I assume, unless Travis has devious intentions. Did call a turn bet last night in the 7.5K with those devious intentions. So he is capable of doing such, but I feel like this one's going into the mark. Obviously a very popular streamer on ACR is Travis Enderspies. You'll see on his hoodie there. Always tune into Twitch and watch Travis play online from the Twitch platform. Obviously incredible results Travis has been able to pick up in the last 12 months. There's not many Australians that have made a final table of a Triton High Roller event. Travis Enderspy is one of them. Incredible effort. And of course, culminating in his second place at the World Poker Tour main event just 2 weeks ago for $350,000. Such a lovely guy as well, Travis, really is. Prepared his team like a Navy SEAL commander in the State of Origin, I'm led to believe. The preparation was intense, but look what happened.
So, little pair here in the big blind for Jordan.
Just in spot, Jared is under the gun, so just a very easy defend here. But I've loved to watch Jordan see all in, but he's moved all in.
He moved all in with all his time bank chips, though, not his, which was interesting. Now, the heat goes back onto Jared.
The reason for this jam is so interesting because he's giving Jared enough light opens around that 16, 15 big blind mark where Jared can have those light opens. Ace 4 suited, Ace 5 suited, King 6 suited, King 10-0, Queen Jack-O. He's got all these hands, so Jordan's just going to put the threes in. Really giving Jared credit for a lot of correct opens here, and Jared does have a decision on his hands. Ace Jack-O feels like the absolute stone bottom of what we'll call off here. I feel like, you know, Ace Jack suited might be a hand we put in, and definitely putting in Ace Queen offsuit. That goes to tell you how close this spot is. I feel like Ace Jack might be a pitch into the muck.
He's looking up at you, mate. He wants a sign through the camera.
We discussed this exact spot with this exact hand on stream yesterday.
Right.
Ace Jack, you know, being one of those spots we tend not to call often. Ace Jack suited in a spot such as this, but these big blind jamming ranges are usually extremely strong. It's Jordan Westmoreland showing up here with the pocket threes. Let's see how the best do their work here.
And obviously it is for his tournament.
Restart.
Another time bank chip.
I think Jared's got to think about too. I feel like, you know, we are going to be up against 9s, 10s, 8s and 7s quite a lot. And Jared might choose to take his equity, and it goes in. Yep. It's just too much hand. As Thatcher puts it in with Ace Jack, 830,000 in the middle.
It's the classic race, Jinxie.
Not my bad.
Bit of a slow roll flop fan there as Jared adds an 8 to his outs.
There's his outs up the top. 9 outs.
None of them folded.
It doesn't come. The threes hold. And we lose undoubtedly one of the best players in the country, even though the field is stacked with them. Sad to see him go. A great run though in this really, really tough event.
These twos would have turned Jared dead. Basically the only turn that wouldn't give Jared those extra paired outs. And we do lose Jared Thatcher. We are getting down, not quite at the business end, but I know it's only a 54 runner field, 20 left. I think 7 pay. I think we might just confirm that it's 7 or 8 paying.
We should put the payouts back up for you. We had them up before.
Oh, yeah. You get to be in the picture and then they say, what happened? How much? Oh, congrats. Must have made lots of money. No, I did not.
I just sent the link out to my WhatsApp group. This is a really rare opportunity to see this calibre of players all sitting together. If you're sitting watching the stream and you reckon you've got some mates out there who would like to see what's happening here, join in the chat, get the link out to them. This is a really rare opportunity. Sitting at home on a Tuesday night doing bugger all probably.
Oh, that's even more tragic.
Got the payouts here for us, Harvey. So it is top 7 pay, 36,000, just over that 2x. Min cash.
It was about a 20 average.
$260,000 to the winner. Incredible. It's top 7 pay, and we are looking towards more of the stuff starting to be worth a lot more real money as we approach the final 2 tables.
That well structured in Australia before.
Only that was because they did not get the amount of
I think obviously Jared would definitely know best there for sure and certain. Jared did mega late reg this event with, I think it was 15. So you know, when we're doing that, we're more often leaning towards taking our equity in 50-50 spots, and I feel like Ace Jack for Jared might have just been too much hand. Just why he put it in, and I feel like versus a player of the calibre of Jordan Westmoreland, I intuitively feel Ace Jack suited might have been a call for sure. So that just goes to tell you how close that spot really is. As Jordan Westmoreland, not a run out we particularly would find a lot of bluffs on.
7 check.
He opts for check.
Make a big lay down there.
You know, Bet's probably going to take this if she can find one.
4 check.
Looked like
Can't.
Looked like it was actually a real one.
Interesting non-bluff spot there from Sozia. It's a very rare run out. I'm not going to pretend to know on the 3-7 board how we proceed as we...
It's a shame you can't use these on the show.
Table live vision of the Drakakis, I think.
Which didn't really work for us. We'll go back there again. Here it is for you. There we go.
Just a reminder, we do have our mystery.
Looks like we've got 3 left there now.
Slow rolls on, we're like,
taken the chip lead.
Here's a 3-seat
And it's the Sheriff who's disappeared in 4th place.
I'd actually love that idea if you had like a show one or like show both chips. You got to play it like once during the tournament to see what you're.
We have that at a sit and go at home. It's really good.
I love it.
Yeah.
So down to 3. It is an event we love. As I've said a couple of times, it's just a scheduling quirk that we couldn't show you the whole final table of this. It's just this, you say too much hand, there's just too much player in this event for us not to be showing this. There we go. And
$31,000 up top there, but let's be honest, that's all about that $12,500 18-carat gold ring from Drakakis Jewelers. The winner of that event will take away.
it's just about the first hand I've seen Adam play, I think. He's in there with an ace-10. Malcolm's going to bet.
Ace-8-0 under the gun from Malcolm is we saw the Jack 8-0 before from Alex, probably more reasonable. And the Ace-8-0 here, just Malcolm, we're seeing why he's so talented. He's had so many of these results. He just takes every single spot. You know, maybe if, you know, I'm just making up numbers here. Let's just say Ace-8-0 is a 20% open here. He opens at 100%. Do you know what I mean? He's taking every single spot possible. And, you know, we'd see a lot of extremely good players, especially, say we've got Alex Linsky and Adam Carmen in the blinds, look to err on the side of caution, as we have live footage somehow Pole and Kenny Wang. And
so that is actually the Drakakis final table, but it's across the complete other end of the room from where our broadcast table is. So we've swung one of those cameras around. There it is over there. Interesting bit of production from our guys there.
We're doing our best.
We love it.
We've got to remember, this is probably the first ever Drakakis we've never streamed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
7, 1.
Back to Adam here. He calls out of the small blind. Just a check from Malcolm. Nice hand to check though, especially when the king comes out.
I mean, this could get a little. This could get really interesting. I mean, we could see Adam start to bet here potentially, and Malcolm just has such a disguised king queen on this board. Adam does have that 5 of clubs working. Not surprised to see Adam starting to bet here.
All right, players. Mystery Man is
It's going to be a raise from Malcolm and see a snap in from Adam Carmen. And
again, Jigsy, you're not going to see too many recreational players look up at a king queen out of the big blind and just check. It's just
blind on blind.
It just doesn't happen.
No, not blind. Not,
So
not in a limp hop blind
no,
versus
it's
blind.
just such a great play, isn't it?
If we have a real think about, you know, how our ranges work there, and you know, Malcolm just feels potentially. I mean, he's so talented. I'm just guessing here, but you know, if we raise and Adam jams, is King Queen a hand we really want to get in for 30 to 35 bigs blind versus blind in a tournament like this? So we are reducing variance, but we also check for deception as well. And if Malcolm makes that decision, it is correct. So we're just trying to do our best, and this might be a spicy sport, but being suitable, see a lot more calls here. Does do such. As we saw some footage there on the outer table. We had JP, Luke Martinelli, and Joe Hasham still in this event. I haven't seen Luke Martinelli around too often, and see him back home every now and then. It's good to see Luke Martinelli up here representing Victoria in the state of origin.
I've been thrilled how many of the state of origin players from last Friday have not only stayed till now, but are staying the whole way through. They're gonna play right through.
Yeah, I was a little sceptical at the start.
Yeah, so was I.
But they're all still here. Decides to wait for a little bit more equity until we start betting, but has it turned on check, or are we just still on that?
Oh, hang on.
Something's wrong,
yeah,
or might just let it play
something
out.
may have happened there. No, has checked all the way there.
To register, get underway. $160 gets you in.
I wonder if this is a combination that we start to bluff if we're Malcolm.
15k start stack, 12 minute
Sport
blind.
would probably favour
3
us,
seats guaranteed
but
into tomorrow's.
this is what I love about commentating. We get to know what the right decision is because he's just about to make it. Whatever it is a combo.
There it is.
Intuitively felt that this could be a bluff, and we'll get a snap in from Adam. It's amazing. Loving your feedback in the chat. We get to know that King Queen does check in that spot 18% of the time. And you know how many times Malcolm's checked in that spot? 18% of the time. Like, it's just crazy. He finds it. As Angel and Andreas, two best mates side by side on the outer table here in the 15K. What about Jungle Man right there in seat 8? 7, sorry. What a pleasure it was to have Angel in the commentary booth a couple of days ago. It's so easy to see why he's so good, the way he thinks about the game. Such a lovely guy as well, and spoken about how much fatherhood has changed his life. Of course, his wife having a very successful career in poker. He's hosting.
Lynn Gilmartin, of course, talking about.
Yes, and started as a Crown dealer, is that correct?
You know what? She started working at the Australian Open at the tennis, and that's where I know her from.
You're kidding.
Yeah, she's working in the media department at the Australian Open. We met there, and she would have been 18, I reckon, when she was working there. Then she moved to Crown and worked in the poker area. I did a bit of work with her, did a bit of media training, and she hosted a couple of little shows that I did back in the day, and got to know her really well. Lovely girl, and then got that amazing breakthrough to go and work with the WPT, travel around the world, and met her husband.
3-year-old now at home, and
That's 100,000.
as Alex is now, look, I mean, I'm going to be honest, the Jack 8 before was spicy. This is what's the word above, what's the superlative above spicy? Because we're finding the King 2-0 in the hijack, and I try to keep things pretty impartial here, but Travis has got to be very disrespected by that open. He really does. If I saw that open, and if Alex is opening that into Travis, he's opening worse into me, and I would find that very disrespectful. Alex just finding the King 2. I'll find that out. Travis will see that in half an hour. Goodness gracious. I know. I try not to. Wasabi. I think, well, that is a Wasabi Open. Wasabi Open, goodness me, and I try not to quote Adamo too much, but I've got so many of them. It's a quietly spoken man, but he calls that one high card equity. So he only needs one card to see a flop. That's what makes him so great, and Alex has taken the high card equity to the streets there. See how Travis reacts to that information in half an hour's time.
These two, right? 60,000, 3 fold.
Adam's now been in, after basically having not played at all, has been in a few hands here, but a little bit light with pretty much all of them. Now he finds himself potentially, if Socia decides to call this out of the button, which she does, it's the King 9 versus the King 10, and of course Travis picks up an Ace King. So
I mean, we're in the streets again here. Like,
it's just unbelievable.
King 9's on the spicier side for sure. Especially with Jordan in the big blind covering us, but Adam's a man that plays hands. And we're getting a treatise to why these guys win so many poker tournaments in Australia. As Travis opts to jam 29 here from the small, Ace King O is going to do this a lot, and Jordan Westmoreland.
Well, he can't, can he?
He can't.
It's just not the spot, is it, with two players behind him? And the jam will take it.
King 9's got to be the bottom of our opens there for sure. I mean, a good way to think about that is when we say the bottom of our open, that means if we're opening King 9, we're not opening King 8. But a little tidbit for you to remember, if we can start to make straights with our hands, such as King 9 can make a straight, King 8 can't. So you'll see computer land start opening and playing more of those hands that just have that little bit more equity that can make straights. And King 9-0 is one of those that Adam decides to open. And
well, he's down the bottom of the chip count here, and maybe he's just feeling that he needs to make something happen because he certainly hasn't been getting any premiums. He hasn't really had much to play at all.
Has had poor distribution for sure. As this would be in the wasabi category here. Travis has some devious thoughts.
Thank you.
Makes the interesting to see if this is a hand we defend here for Alex. We've seen him defend the 5-3 and the 8-4, but this high card does interact more so with Socia. So I'd love to see how Alex proceeds. He's got that look in his eye. And that's a 3-bet. You're going to see these hands do this from time to time versus a late position open, and Alex just absolutely finding it. I mean, what do we do here if we've got King Queen? Socia in a bit of a spot here. I've seen these low, junky hands combined with that high card, as I did mention before, that quote from Adamo, high card equity. This hand will do this from time to time. Socia will see a flop, and I think a king high board is going to be really interesting. Maybe I'm asking for too much.
No, you're not. We're seeing lots of good stuff. Oh, not that time.
This is just a great board for us if we're Alex. We're such a polar spot. Sosia's going to know that from time to time Alex is going to find these light 3-bets, but King Queen oh no backdoor. Not sure. This is not a hand that it's really going to struggle to proceed.
You feel she would have really liked to have seen a flop that she could have at least made something out of.
Like a Jack 9-4, a Jack 10-3 or something like that, but I mean, that's just world class from Alex, let's be honest. Like you know, let's put the King 2 offsuit from the hijack hand in our rearview mirror. You know, he won that pot, King 4 off, he's won that pot too, he just doesn't let up. He just doesn't let up, and we're seeing, you know, this is a spot in which Alex might not really be enjoying playing on stream too much because
not at all.
I'm starting to see things that, you know, I've been in many 3 or 4-bet pots with Alex before, and I've probably lost most of them, and I'm starting to realise maybe a lot of those times I probably had the best hand.
It's really interesting you saying that, because I was just about to say before you said that, the players are going to catch up on this in a half an hour, and it's going to reveal plenty. You know, if you know, and
Travis is going to have his mates say, "This is just a fact." You know, I don't. You know, people tend to get upset at times if I've said too much or whatever, but
yeah.
Travis is going to know. Alex is going to know that Travis is going to have mates at home watching this, and I know that he does. And he's going to get a barrage of messages in about 12 minutes saying, Alex opened King 2 off into you. So I'm not giving away anything there because Travis is going to know that.
So he's going to shift again, is he?
Alex must adjust, but he doesn't. He just doesn't. The foot stays to the floor no matter what.
Right.
But you know, if we're Travis, maybe we start adjusting. Maybe we start finding some really polar 3-bet spots out of the big blind versus Alex Open. Just being able to commentate on this level of play is just feel very blessed, and maybe we can see Travis in the background on his phone. I have a feeling that he might be getting that information.
So the call goes in. So the check again from Adam. I don't think the 4 is going to change very much for him as Jordan bets again, this time 135. This is I reckon this is dangerous waters here for Adam Jinxie. Sorry, mate. So he's checked. He's decided to put it in. That's a good fold.
It's, I mean, not funny, but it's just, it's incredible to see how often these guys are right. You know, Malcolm just finding the ace-8-0 under the gun and, you know, finds the king-queen check there, which we do a really small amount of the time, but I feel very blessed to be up here and just being able to watch this and try and bring the viewer home to a winner as best we can. As I reckon,
Specs is asking.
it's got to be about now. Travis has found out about that open, so we might see some adjustments here, so it could get more exciting.
See 4 folds. 5 folds. 7 folds.
I reckon the most frustrated guy on the table is that guy right there, Adam, at the moment. Just the body language is not fantastic, Jinxie. He's just gone in light too many times, and I mean, that was a good fold before, obviously, but
You know,
he's...
it could be a spot where we called, you know, a lot of players could call just out of pure frustration.
Yeah, I'd actually, when I said that was a really good fold, I think that it's that as much as anything else. I actually thought he was going to call. It's another Linsky trainer confrontation.
Got some spice in shoeing here. Both hands interacting quite strongly with this board, and I'd be surprised to see, and he beat me to it. It's a check, and bottom pair's going to hold here. Malcolm knows after Alex checks the turn that his hand is definitely no good, and let's just see if decides this is another combo that's worth bluffing, because Alex is very 8x heavy and potentially 4x heavy here, but it's just not a river in which he's deciding that he's going to bluff. Sure, Alex just checks this one back.
But I thought he would have done that already. It's interesting that he's taking his time.
Well, listen, this is what makes these two so great. Alex is
Wow.
deciding for a value bet versus Malcolm, knowing he can be called by a 4 or a worse 8. Both hands being in Malcolm's range, and
It's such good play,
yeah,
isn't it?
it's amazing to watch. It really is.
All
We
right,
can
guys,
only do our best to bring it to you.
With a prize pool of $25,350. There is still
Malcolm's just got to be one of the most. I think Malcolm, Alex,
if you are
and
interested, do let us know.
Adam
Jump on in.
really are those players that me and Jared Thatcher spoke
Superstar
about on
dealers,
stream
great
at the
comment.
start of the week, that Jared's a
All
really
right,
big
guys,
believer
also,
in
Sport Telly
people
Stacker
being
winner,
naturally
one
talented at
entry
cards.
short of
Some people are just
$40,000
good.
in the prize pool.
Doesn't matter if they don't study or
One
anything.
entry short of
I would
$40,000,
suspect
and Sport Telly is
Alex
on the
Linsky has
table.
either never looked at a
That is
solver or hasn't looked at one for
The bounty on
5
his head.
years. You know, he's a man for the streets. Plays
45 minutes remaining in
extremely
Retro.
well. And
You are interested in the Sport Telly Stacker
I
in the
think
Retro
that
Cash. Jump on.
these three players especially are guys that focus a
You
lot
also have
on
a
live,
3
especially
seat
Alex
guarantee.
and
Staring
Adam.
at me.
Mission
Yeah,
Very good results online,
History
but
Valley Satellite is
really good argument for players just being so
Currently
naturally
has
talented, but
players
also know how hard, for example, Malcolm has
away
worked.
to tomorrow.
So Adam
the best
does pick
hand.
up a hand.
value.
I mean, it's good enough to raise and induce instead of just jamming because Malcolm and Sosia are so good. And it may just work. It
All
does.
in.
That
Oh,
raise
wow.
to
And
induce
straight
with nines has
in.
worked. Well, I mean, when we raise with nines in the button there, we want to induce a jam from this exact hand. Because if we jam, Sosia just snap ins this. Really, really interesting. Really great to see that the plan has come off for Adam Carmen.
Yeah,
but
he's
now
been so patient, but
gotta
well,
hold.
not patient. He's just had nothing, which is. Hello. Oh, so there's a few more outs there for Sosia.
backdoor flush draw as well for Adam. Sosia with a lot of equity in.
Oh, and there's the ace.
It's absolutely dead.
He's only got the 9 now for an out.
That's so
Oh,
frustrating.
wow.
Yeah, no, unlucky.
Did that not just sum up his last hour? He finally got it in good and got run down.
Yeah, Adam was just the victim of extremely poor distribution from when we were on stream until he's been eliminated. Couldn't have played that hand better. I mean, a lot of the time, some of us will just look down at 13 big blinds with pocket nines on the button and move all in. But with Adam and Sosia, two very aggressive opponents in the blinds. Adam chooses to raise and induce a worse hand to jam. He got exactly what he wanted. But after the 5 cards came out on the flop, turn on the river.
Big smile there. Sosia very happy. Have only 17 left now. We're starting to get really into the meaty end of this.
Do we know if it's a redraw?
15
Oh,
now.
I've got to start giving this a go.
I'll find that out for you.
This because it would be happening now. We're really getting into it because our stack is starting to get worth a lot more AUD. 7 off the money.
Yeah, I don't think there's a redraw, but we might get a redistribution. I think another player's going to have to come and join us here. Geez, that went from 19 to 15 pretty quickly, didn't it?
Might have just been the
bang, bang, bang. So, 5-handed at the moment, but I think we'll be getting another player here. Might just be holding up for that.
Every old man coffee that's ever played.
update on the Drakakis at all? Do we know?
Nearly old enough for senior. Yeah. Should be. I managed to play one seniors event at ATO where they had a typo and it said 40 plus. So we just thought it was a 40 plus event. I ended up heads up with Shireen, who was like 40 in a month.
They're all looking around. Who's coming? Who's coming? Trying to figure it out.
It looks to be Jungle Man. Is it Jungle? Is it Jakarta? Is it Jungle Man?
Could be.
I mean, this is one of the top of Alex's opens, 5-4 suited. Yeah, just think about how Alex got this stack. He 4-bet jammed the ace-5 suited, which propelled us to around 1.3, 1.4 million from memory. The next 800,000 chips have all been through no showdown. We are really seeing how the master does it. Travis has taken. Are we closer to the money when we thought? Because Travis is taking a little time on hands that appear to be auto decisions.
Well, I don't know. We've gone back up to 16 players now,
Okay,
so
no.
someone might have just. No, I did think that was too many in one hit to be losing. So 16, and they are waiting for someone to come over. I'm sure.
Yeah, we
Keep
should.
looking over their shoulder.
Just tune in.
Yeah, he said bye.
Okay. It's going to be like a... We're just waiting for...
A few of them taking the opportunity to stretch their legs. Maybe have a quick chat with their friends on the rail.
做，不用付吗？对。
Is this Yisha, who we had in seat 3 side of the redraw?
Correct.
I'm like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
said this is the best seat. Big whale on her leg. No, I did say it was the best
do we
seat
switch your
because
camera
of
now?
the blinds.
Yeah.
Isha, can I count your chips for you, please? Is that yours?
Am I small blind?
Yeah. Yeah, you will be small blind. I'm just asking was it yours or not. You got them? Oh, okay, they got them already.
Is 8?
Yep. Isha is seat 6. Seat 6.
Looks like Angel's joining us there
She's gonna
on the left-hand side.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought, what? Does that look like Isha?
So we're back to 7-handed here, which is a bit more of a game.
Alright, Isha, you're going to miss a hand. I'll do it.
Just a quick look outside.
Thank you.
That's a very interesting camera shot. We won't go with that one.
It is. It's kind of weird.
So you should miss the hand big blind. C8, right? Correct.
1785.
It's like we're
What have you
8-handed.
got?
I'd say we're 2 tables of 8 now, Jinxie.
Make a lot of sense.
Doesn't it?
Go, Kaminsky.
If that
30.
number up the top's right, we've gone from 19 back to 15. We've got 16, and I've got to assume it is
What's that?
16.
Approximately what do you have?
1, 2.
Linsky under the gun with the Harvey hand. He raises it up. 60k. And I think you're right, Braden. I don't think Alex gives a darn if anyone's had a look at what he's been doing on the stream, because he's just playing the same way.
It's funny, all of our TLP, High Roller players, they don't have to, but we'd love to fill out the player profile questionnaire, and so we get a live broadcast from outside of the room.
I don't know why we're putting that up, but
Is there any way I can make it better?
Do you want me to move them on this side?
Maybe it would be better, yeah. Don't mind.
Is that better?
Yeah, yeah.
Apologies, a few
Oh yeah, those boxes always screw it. Yeah.
technical issues back here.
Alex, we do like to get as much information as possible from these questionnaires, and 2 differences here. Alex Linsky hasn't given us much, and Malcolm's given us quite a lot.
Yeah,
so
Malcolm's written an essay.
which is what we want.
Yes.
Which is what we want. Malcolm letting us know that interests outside of poker being chess, cricket, and going to the gym, but most of all travel. Reckons he's been to 15 countries in the last 12 months to play poker. Amazing. And he reckons he drives a yellow VW Beetle. I reckon he might be taking the PWIS.
Well, because one of the questions there was, what do you drive? E.g. yellow Lamborghini. So I think he's just taking the piss out of the question.
Of course, Poker Pro from Sydney, one of Australia's best, and Alex Linsky didn't give us anything other than the fact that he's not a Poker Pro, he's a retiree.
Yeah.
And that tells you...
Well, when you win that much money,
Yeah,
you can choose
exactly.
when you want to work, when you want to travel. And it can be, you know, a hard and pretty lonely life, this too. Everyone says, oh yeah, Poker Pro, what a, you know, why don't you get a real job, all that sort of stuff. But when it's not running for you particularly, it can get very lonely, and
The old saying is, it's a hard way to make an easy living.
so true. But I think Malcolm gave us the upside of that. What an opportunity to see the world.
Of course. you're a fan of Australian poker, I'm sorry, even if you're a fan of poker anywhere, you wouldn't find a better live stream anywhere in the world than right now. Alex Linsky, Angel, Malcolm Trainer, Travis Endesby, Sozia, the #1 new earnings for New Zealand. Jordan Westmoreland, know a lot about Yisha, but sure we'll get more information soon. Has accumulated nearly 4 starting stacks. Jordan Westmoreland, second in the TLPT opening event. As we have a potentially soon to be all-in confrontation here. This is a disgusting spot actually, and it's going to be really hard for Malcolm to get away from this one. Sub 25, ace queen suited, so much hand. Sub 30, sorry. It's going to be an all-in. Malcolm wants a count, but he knows, he's just realised that he's covered. Look at this, I said, look how talented he is. No snap call here.
He's still got a lot of chips.
I mean, we're sub 30. It's a lot to put in, but ace queen suited, also a lot of hand. Let's see if Malcolm can somehow.
Time bank.
Oh, it's got me every time, Harvey.
That's why I'm yelling it out.
If he can somehow slide his way out of this disgusting spot.
Well, if he can, it's going to be a fold that matches the one we saw earlier from Didier.
Yeah, it's up there, but these big blind jamming ranges are so tight usually. What are we doing if we're Angel with ace jack suited? Ace jack, these hands are likely calls, and Malcolm's going to find the bin. He's just the best. He's just the best. What a fold, Malcolm Trainer.
I think it was you who told me on a stream, sometimes it's not the money you win, it's the money you don't lose. And that's an amazing fold, isn't it?
Big blind save better than a big blind earned. That's incredible. You know, I just think that obviously never going to be able to think like Malcolm. He's so good, but let's have a think about how those ranges interact. We're really hoping that Angel just shows up with pocket jacks, pocket tens. I mean, if we're Angel, do we even call tens some of the time out of the big blind? At times, I mean, jacks is probably always going in, but we don't dominate anything. And now Malcolm has to decide if Angel have enough bluffs out of the big blind verse under the gun, and he decides the answer is no and lays down the ace queen suited. So talented. We are that privileged to be able to watch him do his thing. As Angel has ace king again? Is this the same ace king? Did he have ace king of clubs in the last hand?
No, it was off.
Ace king off? There's ace king again. Angel with 4 start stacks here. Interesting to see if we defend this. If we're Malcolm Trainer, decides to 9-7 versus ace king suited. It's a really good board for Angel. Those backdoor clubs working as well.
All right, guys, just a reminder, we still
Surprised
have
to see something in the
entries
realm
available
of
for the
45.
Stacker currently sitting at just under
You're
40,000 in the
You're
prize.
good.
One more entry gets it over the line.
Is it? It is 45.
40,000.
Maybe one day we'll be playing the 15k
It's still in.
TLTP main event, but very, very standard spot there.
It is valued, his bounty is valued at $300. If you do buy in now, if you're the next person buying in, he will
Great
personally
TD and
provide you a
Armstrong, but
10-minute
very loud.
massage.
Very loud. Very
Not
loud. He
one
has
of
to
the
be because
days
it's a
by
pretty noisy
Sportelli
room out
himself.
there. There's a lot of people around.
It will give you a nice massage if you are relaxed, tired or sore. Buy into the Sportelli Stacker, you get a 10-minute massage on the house that is Sportelli.
I'm going to explain what's going on out there. There's something happening that's just ridiculous. So Adrian Sportelli's put on his own event out there.
The Sportelli sit and go.
And they've just offered free massages for anyone who enters now.
Oh my goodness me.
But I don't think it's from Adrian, hopefully.
You could pay me to sit out, not sit down.
So we think that our TD's got a big, loud, booming voice. I'm sure a number of people out there have met Adrian Sportelli. There's no one louder here than him.
There's no one louder in most places.
But a lot of fun there. He's put on his own event and named it.
Sozia opts for jam here with 30 effective. As Josh Hutchins is our player that's joined the table. Well-known regular is Josh.
I personally think the value of that massage is at least $1,500.
They were looking for a name for that Sportelli event. I did suggest the Sportelli jam with nothing, but decided not to.
It would have been very apt. It would have been very apt.
You're probably getting the idea from our commentary that it is a great community here. Everyone really gets along well. It's incredibly competitive on the felt, but off it, very social. A lot of stories shared and extremely late nights, people going out after play finishes.
Huge value in that one.
It is the poker play away.
Through bounty, valued at $1,150.
Alex, certainly inquisitive, opting for fold or 3-bet. That does go in. We have a proper decision here for Angel. I feel like we can come in with call always once our hand is suited. Angel agrees, good to see that. Went over this spot on stream actually, in commentary, and Socia also has a decision here with Ace Jack, but first +1. I feel like maybe just defend, see what Socia comes with.
No, she's raising.
250.
Interesting spot, deciding to turn her hand into a bluff now. I mean, it could work. Jordan Westmoreland has shown a propensity to sniff these out. Of course, who could forget a hand versus JP? As soon as he got to the table, could make an assumption this is a spot that we'll squeeze often if we're Socia, but in reality, definitely underbluffed. Pocket 9, so much hand. Jordan opts with call. Angel a decision too. I don't think, actually, let's just see what Angel comes with here. This is a really, really interesting spot. We're never going to really see too many multi-way squeeze spots and calls. It's going to be a really interesting hand.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Time, Chip, right?
Yes, sorry.
I reckon he's going to fold here.
I'm starting to think about what options we do have available. Hand's just a little too good, I think. Definitely suited. It's going to be really tough to fold.
10 seconds.
Does his big chip stack play a part?
He does
Does
it.
fold?
He does. It can, because once he calls, we still have, you know, upwards of 60 big blinds. You know, if we call and don't put any more chips into the pot, but Jordan Westmoreland feels the pocket nines is too good versus this squeezing range from Sozia, and we have a really interesting hand coming up.
It's a terrible flop for nines.
It certainly is. I think fortune may favour the brave here. We've also got that ace of spades working as well, but it is a terrible flop for nines, but for our range, we have all of the queens. Sozia basically has none of them. I mean, obviously we have kings too. But the queen favours us if we're Jordan Westmoreland, however.
She bets.
You know, it's a board we're always going to bet, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to think, yeah, we'll see a snap in from Jordan Westmoreland just yet.
No, it's a smallish bet for what's in the pot.
Yeah,
so
we're always going to go
along.
We're going to go always going small in these 3-bet squeeze spots. Size is probably what we're going to be looking to do with our whole ranges. It doesn't even matter. Don't even worry about it. The nuts straight for Sozia. Yeah, she's really going to hope her opponent. It's a hand like Queen Jack suited.
And just tell me what Angel's thinking sitting there, knowing he had the Ace Jack as well.
He wouldn't be feeling too happy now, but these are really strong ranges. Ace Jack, if we're Angel in that spot once called, we're not actually really happy getting this in on this board for 70 bigs multi-way. Kings, King, Queen, 10s are all real hands in our opponent's range. This is such an interesting spot. Jordan was definitely a non-believer, but this card makes it really hard for us to continue.
You know, exactly. What does he think his opponent may have? All the cards on the board are higher than his.
I think that was a really, really interesting hand. So, you know, all of the Queen Jack suited combos were available. Her Jack did not interact with the other Queen as we get another update from the Drakakis, and Kenny Wang has been eliminated.
We are heads up out there. There's the trophy lying on the table.
That appears to be a monstrous amount of chips if we're Daniel Noja. Canberra's finest poker player.
Thank you.
Any other famous Canberra sportsman, Harvey, you can think of, other than obviously James Hird being up there?
Yeah, that was the one I was about to say.
68.
So that one out there, even though it's heads up, might still be a little while. So we have a Drakakis champion. We are not very far from a break here. We're going to have a 15-minute stretch and bathroom break, but I suggest don't go anywhere. This is your interview with Cale Burns coming up after we finish up here and go to the break, and it would definitely be worth hanging around to watch, I'd say. A man who you don't hear speak very often.
Look, Cale is a man of few words. If you think of how many bracelets and how many big tournaments Cale has won, people can think of too many interviews that Cale has done, maybe on a podcast here or there. So we're really blessed and lucky that Cale gave us his time after taking out the TLPT opening event. And we'll have that interview for you on the break. Can't wait for that one, I really can't.
Get to see your smiling face on it as well, which is good.
It's not what the it's not what we've all tuned in for. We're here to listen to Cale and watch the best players at it.
Yeah, but when you set yourself up, you know, behind the camera, you know, news interview style, and no, go and sit at the table with him. That's you are a big part of this coverage, and we all understand how lucky we are to have you with us. Not just a knowledgeable player, but a very successful player too, and who knows so many of these guys and can give us such an insight. I'm just here to drag this thing along.
To the interview, obviously very new to me, but previous life, interviewed a lot of horse racing, greyhound racing trainers as well, and done that for 10 years, and I found myself using the same type of techniques in those interviews with those trainers as we have with poker players. So interviewing not foreign, done a lot of them in my time, but you know, transitioning that over to poker can be difficult, but I felt there are a few similarities there.
Well, I think one of the similarities is that trainers and poker players aren't naturally demonstrative type people. They're very reserved.
Never a truer word said.
So you sometimes have to drag it out of them a little bit. You know, they're not here for the recognition.
I mean, not an entire room.
That it had to change a lot in horse racing, and I'll tell you what, it's probably a real similarity with what we're trying to do here with poker, because the trainers did have to come out of their shell and become spokespeople for horse racing, and it started with Gay Waterhouse, but it's, you know, then, you know, Bart Cummings, you couldn't get an interview with Bart Cummings, he pushed the camera away. So now you've got the Kieran Mars and you know,
so true. It's so true.
Wallers, and you know, and they've become such good media performers as well.
They've all got their own social media pages, updates on, you know, where their horses are going, and interviews and whatnot. Could you have imagined Bart Cummings with a Facebook page?
Yeah.
Never would have happened.
I think Bart Cummings would have had to get out of my Facebook page.
Very, very, very true.
Hasn't its subject changed?
It's Malcolm taking the Queen 6 of Spades from the hijack to the streets here, and we've got some board interaction. Josh, backdoor flush draw, middle pair, bottom pair, sorry. Backdoor flush draw also for Malcolm, which does come in. I feel like potentially could have started to put some chips in the middle for Malcolm, but I mentioned this before when we talked about those multi-way spots. A lot of these guys just don't tend to too many chips in the middle, because these multi-way spots are so complex, and the Queen 6 of Spades are gonna hold up here. Malcolm could be pondering value bet.
Yeah, will he?
I mean, no one's showed any interest. We don't have the ticker on the side, but it has gone check, 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 check. Malcolm, that's what he's just deliberating now. If his hand is strong enough to value bet multi-way, he has come to that decision. Let's see what size he comes with.
160.
The starting stack for the TLPT main event was 500,000. And Travis weighing up his decisions here. He hasn't got much of one, but Josh May, he's got to be careful that Malcolm's still uncapped.
10 seconds, Travis.
In these really complicated multi-way spots, but he does have a decision here for sure. He's gonna be a non-believer.
No, I don't know.
And he's going to see that the Queen is going to be good enough. His 7 isn't. Just another quick look outside to that outer table, so you can run us through some of the players who are still alive in this one.
See Jungle Man still alive here. Seat 2, Yoon Kang, Melbourne, Cash Game Grinder. Dipping his foot into, dipping the toes into tournaments. He's got such a great record already over the last 12 months. Didier, APT ambassador. How good would it be to see him take this down? Obviously, Didier still alive after making that incredible fold with the straight.
One of the best folds I've ever seen.
Insane, but he's still alive, and obviously on his left, Andreas Vasquez. He used to have a lot of chips. I couldn't, a lot of couple of greens there for Andreas, but can't get exact chip counts from that table, as we might be opening this some of the time before Angel does agree. Interesting spot how Sozia goes with. Did have an intuitive feel there that Sozia was going to come with call. We would be looking to get in 50 bigs pre with Jacks versus Angel's range. This trap appears to be taking a lot of time with these decisions, as Jordan Westmoreland could be seeing a flop here with pocket threes. Interesting here that I've got to think if we're Jordan Westmoreland, we do get the full double if we flop a set. Really incentivized to call on a spot like this multi-way. Easy hand to play as well. No 3 or 3 on the flop.
No, there's one.
Oh no! Goodness gracious me!
So
we have it.
So the man who plays anything has a lot.
Yes. This is going to be a very interesting spot, and unfortunately, if I'm going to make a prediction here, this could be the end of Sozia, because we have such an under-repped hand, and this is a squeeze spot that Alex is going to be taking with nearly every single hand that comes to his thought process here, because it is obviously going to be extremely polar, but we know Alex has those bluffs in this spot, but unfortunately he's got the goods. More unfortunately for Sozia, this Jacks is very underrepresented, and we do only have 50 big blinds. I mean, when I do say only, it is a lot, but versus Alex's squeezing range, it's going to be really hard to not back jam this in. I don't even think I'd think twice before back jamming this in. Let's see if Sozia can be better than me and survive, but I wouldn't blame her for just sending this one into the middle. This could be the end of Sozia, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Right before the break, this is impossible to get away from, only because Alex Linsky is the squeeze player out of the big blind.
And it's the only option, isn't it? Really? Can she re-raise here, or is it everything?
I just think the back jam is something we're doing nearly always.
Which
I believe
she has.
that she has. It's a snap call, and Alex on the end of. This is the way this hand is played out. Once Sozia decides to flat the Jacks, this is as cold a deck as you're going to get for a 50 big blind pot with 100 bigs now with pocket Jacks. So Alex on the very fortunate end of how this one's played out. Of course, he does lose the hand 20% of the time.
But not when a queen comes out.
We don't even have the backdoor hearts working if we're Sozia. We need running straight cards. This is just a cold, cold deck in the favour of Alex Linsky, and Sozia now drawing dead. That's so unfortunate.
Isn't it what? Isn't it what? And we were saying that we haven't had callers. It's just been such good. But that's a cooler. That's
good play under
nothing
cooler.
else you can do. You know, really, nothing else you can do.
You know, I think. I mean,
I really didn't think you had it.
it's interesting. I'm trying to think of the hands, like how low we go before we do back jam into Alex's squeeze, and I feel like it's low. You know, I could find a back jam there with maybe 8s or 9s, because we know how light Alex can be, but he just showed up with the goods yet again. Alex Linsky.
And that's the time where you're hoping that everyone's communicated the stream, because they're saying he's opening so, he's raising so light, and all of a sudden he's got it.
Very interestingly, I'm really happy you brought that up, Harvey, because remember, Sozia raised with King Queen, and Alex 3-bet her out of the big blind with King 4 offsuit. She knows that now.
That's right.
She's been given that information, so she's also thinking Alex is going to be so many light squeeze spots here, because he has it is a different spot, and definitely for sure, but it's always going to be in the back of your head that Alex 3-betting that King 4-0 out of the big blind. It's just we're always putting Jacks in there. 6-6-6 spot.
As you can see, everyone getting up. So this is our last hand before the break. Alex has it again. Angel will be hoping for his sake that he's got stuff all. He's got a 5-4 suitor, which He's just considering whether he's going to call this raise. Go off and have a cup of coffee, Angel. No, he's going to play. He's got to, I understand. So, let's see. He's dominated. Oh, wow. So,
knocks the absolute eyeballs out of this flop, but it could potentially not be over just yet. We've got a lot of backdoor opportunities if we're Angel. Backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Depending on what size Alex comes with, I don't think we'll see a snap fold.
Go and have a coffee, Angel.
Of course we know. He is going to bin this one.
Jeez, that's good. That was for you. He did that for you.
I was Angel picks up one of Alex's cards and Alex says show.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, don't go anywhere. We are on a break, but we want you to hang around because we've got a fantastic opportunity here to see our man Jinxie having a chat with Carl Burns.
Welcome to the APT here at the Voco Centre, and it's very, very, very incredible welcome to one of the best that's ever done it from Australia, Carl Burns. Added the TLPT opening event, $7,500 buy-in, $200,000 to the winner. Carl, what's it like being back in Australia and taking out the TLPT opening event?
Yeah, always good to be in Australia. I love Australia. It's my home, and been spending more and more time here lately, I guess. Haven't been travelling as much, but yeah, no place like home.
Of course. How long have you been back home for? Obviously, you don't get to see you at any of the real big buy-ins in Australia in the last couple of years. Have you been back recently, or?
I've been around. I just haven't been playing that much poker the last few years, to be honest. Been playing very, very little, I guess. Travelling a little bit here and there, but just not that much.
Yeah, okay. So when you came onto stream, probably 3 or 4 off the money, you had the chip lead, and we went back and had a look. You didn't relinquish the chip lead for a single hand from about 12 to 13 left, all the way to victory. That's a pretty incredible effort. I know you're the best, but I mean, it's still even in a spot like that, you'd think, you know, there's the stacks that are going to come over the top of you here and there, but you did not relinquish the chip lead, not for a single hand. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I was happy with how I played mostly, but luck's a pretty big factor in the short term. So some things were definitely going my way, you know, holding in some all-ins, maybe not getting collared. So definitely been a good run there for me.
One hand I wanted to talk to you about where Tom found the lead on the button versus big blind on the 10-8-6-6. Tom turned 3 sixes, found the lead. You call with queens, river queen for basically the stone cold nuts. What were you feeling on the turn where Tom found that lead?
Was it 10-8-6 or was it 10-9-6?
10-8-6 or 10-9-6?
I think it might have been 10-9-6.
And then turn 6?
Turn 6. Obviously, I'm a little bit concerned. He has a lot of sixes there for trips. I think he does have some bluffs, obviously, as well, that he could choose from.
Double flush draw board as well.
Yeah. That being said, he has some draws that he could choose from as well. Obviously, he could have some gut shots. Maybe like even an open ender or something like that, like a jack 8 or things like that. Perhaps some flush draws. He could also potentially lead a 10. But when he bets that size, I think he's probably more likely to lead a 10 for a smaller size, or not lead it at all in that spot with ICM. So I was a bit concerned, but I can't really fold.
Didn't really, no, of course, and it didn't really matter. Obviously, the queen on the river. What were we thinking? Let's just say that river is not a queen. It was the queen of hearts flush draw completing. I know you were concerned on a little bit on the turn, but not a spot where people would find a lead on the turn and river and have many bluffs. Even like live Australian poker, it was probably a pretty under bluff spot. You would have been pretty concerned if you know no queen on the river, how we like decide to approach the river decision once he leads again.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'd still give him some bluffs going to the river for sure, and then I'd analyse like what type of hands I have here. Like maybe I have some straights, maybe I can even have 6 myself sometimes. Occasionally I can have full house. Maybe even though queens is a good hand, I got 2 pair or whatever, and I got an overpair to the board. Might be better to have a hand like ace 10, like unblocking bluffs and stuff like that, and I'd prefer to call something like that. But yeah, I'll just proceed accordingly, basically.
Pretty good to hear your analysis on hands. We don't get to hear too much from you, but one last thing I wanted to bring up. Obviously, one of the biggest wins of your career. You do have some bracelets, but one of the biggest wins is the high roller at the Aussie Millions, 100K for about 1.2, 1.3 million. And I heard very generous shout for dinner after the 1.3 million. Apparently, you took the boys to a really expensive meal at KFC. True?
That's true.
True or not true?
True. We got some zinger fillets. Hey, I was feeling like zinger fillets, so we'll get zinger fillets. Like, I mean, I'd be happy to take them somewhere else, but I think it was like 2 a.m. I was fucking
Food
exhausted.
court at Crown Casino.
Excuse my French. I was fucking exhausted, and I don't really care. I wasn't in the mood to party or anything. I think there was maybe even more tournaments left to play. I don't really feel like drinking. If they want to go somewhere nice when it's not 2 a.m., sure.
Of
2 a.m.
course. I wasn't sure if that was true. I wasn't sure if that was going to be true, but it's actually nice to hear that.
Completely true.
Completely and utterly
Hey, I was
true.
craving some zinger fillets. If I want zinger fillets, then the zinger fillets are on the menu. You know, that's it.
Poker player at heart. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time, and good luck for the rest of the series.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers. 140.
You could really choose someone over like
if I raise 80,000.
They love to dress up as a giant dog in this one.
Seat 7 fold, seat 8, 80,000. You got one fold.
Yep.
Two fold. Three call. Heads up. Three checks.
That could have been dangerous.
5 bet 75.
Yeah, yeah. That only works heads up. The pot's not 2.5 bigs up to or whatever the hell we play, 3 bigs.
For that board, any size will work.
Yeah, yeah. That's some potential wetness to it.
Seven fold. Seat 8 fold. You want to raise 80,000.
Is that what it was like the whole time you were playing too?
What's that?
7.5 there? You could just hear the commentators.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, you hear about all these things that
Yeah,
just
after
happen.
it.
You're just like, oh god.
As you're playing,
Yeah.
you're probably like, oh, it's going to come up now.
Yeah, you're just waiting for it.
Two 5 fold. Heads up. C1 bets 40,000. Two fold.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, just a little quick announcement about the 25k invitational event that is tomorrow. If you register before the first card is
Good
pitched,
tactics, boys.
if you register for that tournament before the first card is pitched, you will receive an extra 50k into your starting stack of 400,000.
No.
If you register within the first 2 hours,
back, I
you'll
can
receive an
agree
extra
with.
25k into your starting stack of 400,000.
You don't raise 80,000.
Remember guys, if you do register before the start of the first pitch,
I'm not gonna play it.
additional 50k. Within the first 2 hours, it'll be an additional 25k.
No, just whatever it takes. In Asia, they were doing lots of like just $100 off. Just
5 fold.
first 4 people who get it going. Yeah. Yeah.
Seat
Yeah.
7 calls.
I mean, it's a pretty good incentive, really.
Heads up.
Decided I was taking that day off anyway, so.
Just a quick little announcement guys, if anyone in the room has any prepaid massages with the latest and best hand shiatsu massage, please let us know if you wish to redeem them now.
Seat 8
Anyone
bets
with any
75.
prepaid minutes, let us know if you wish to redeem them right now.
7 fold.
So you going WSOP this year? Or? Yeah. Yeah, next year, yeah. I think I will, yeah. Might go this year and not next year. The coming year.
You want fold? Fold. Three raise, 80,000.
Yeah, back with you.
Five's all in.
Here.
Voco
Voco Hotel in Brisbane, TLPT, $15,000 buy-in main event.
23 minutes remaining in the Mystery Vantage satellite registration. There is plenty of value to be had. 14 players have registered. It is a
What a show we've got for you for the rest of the night.
Head on over to the registration desk, $160. Win your way into the 11th.
Missed the last couple of hands before we went on break. Hope you enjoyed that interview bring to you with Cale Burns. It's hard to get a hold of, but I think I might have been a little bit more nervous than what he was. So it's great for him to offer his time up for us. The TLPT opening winner, opening event. If you did just miss that, the last hand before the break, a humongous, massive, huge 110 big blind pot went the way of Alex Linsky.
If anyone has never
Incredible
played
way that
Mystery
played
Vantage
out.
before,
As the camera pans to Alex, you're going to see how many chips
portion of your buy-in
he's
goes
got.
towards the bounty.
Yeah,
You will
5
play
off the
down
money
to
here.
20%.
Just to recap,
You will then receive
Andreas, sorry, not Andreas, Angel under the gun with 8-9 suited. Associate just flatting the jacks
The bounty values
in middle position as Alex looks to defend 90% of hands and 8-2 offsuit falls outside of that. Associate just calling for around that 50 big blind stack. Jordan Westmoreland calling the button with pocket threes off 30. Alex, having all players covered, squeezes out of the big blind, but wouldn't you know it, he had the goods, pocket queens. Angel folding, and Socia finds the 50 big blind back jam, and I think nearly everyone else in this tournament, myself included, knew that that was just going to go in. Alex squeezing so light, so often at a time. The queen on the flop ended Socia's TLPT main event right before the break.
Guaranteed main event. Head on over to the registration desk and do so right now.
This.
Registration closes for that flight in 30 minutes.
Interesting to see why.
5 fold. 7 fold.
Thanks for that, Josh.
8 fold.
I'm joined back in the booth by Harvey Spector. Harvey, how was the break?
It was great working with Meghan Markle for a while, and Harvey Spector, you called me, you idiot. I'll go down in the bloopers reel.
No, it's we were talking about our levels of attractiveness. That's why I got you confused.
I tell people when I get a bit tipsy that people call me Harvey Spector. I said, you know, they actually sent the production crew out and moulded that character on me. He's based on me. Jeez, that suits anyone who doesn't know what the hell we're talking about.
You'd be half delivering under a rock, I think. Linsky's got it here again.
Nice little break, and now we'll take ourselves through the evening. This one, maybe with some bit of luck, we might get through to a final table tonight, and
I think we will. 13 left.
That might be where we stop, just depending on what time that is too. So it's certainly rushing itself through. Unlike the heads up out on the Drakakis, it's still going.
Are they really?
Yeah,
You're
those
kidding.
two are still going at it.
5 fold. 7 fold. 8 fold. 1 fold.
Try and get the camera out there shortly to give us a little bit of vision of that.
Daniel Noja looked like he had a plentiful amount of chips out there, so obviously the heads up fight back is on.
2 calls. Option.
So there's a sneaky little bit of work from Malcolm.
3 raise, 110 go.
No, he's got a...
No.
Thought he was just going to call there, but no. Okay, so there's a different way of playing. We've seen that the same thing twice, and two very different ways of playing it.
Yeah. It's just the best Malcolm is. It'd be great to have him on this final table. People tune in just to watch him. Bit of a John Coleman vibe, where the crowd used to follow him from end to end. Obviously can't happen these days, but...
John Coleman.
I'm probably going back. I'm trying to
go
think.
back a bit too far. Tony Lockett, they used to go end to end.
Even then they couldn't probably, could they? The stadiums are too...
I'll tell you who they did go end to end for, and one of my mates, Warwick Kappa, they went...
That is very true.
That was probably the last of it, actually. The great migration, quarter by quarter, and you'd see...
Oh, we have an all-in call in the Drakakis, I believe.
I want to have a little bit of vision of that.
Yes.
I'll just put that up after this hand finishes here.
Now, Travis, knowing that Linsky opening extremely light, but Queen 2 off, just not enough hand to fight back with, as we are all in and at risk in the Drakakis. It looks like Daniel Noja has a chip lead, and it appears he also has the winning hand. And the Drakakis Players Championship is over.
I think he didn't win that hand. We'll just have to, I don't think he won that hand. It's hard to see the cards out on the table, but...
Sit 8 fold, so 1 fold. So 2 raise at 80,000, so 3 folds.
So we weren't able to see what those hands were, but we have been reliably informed that Daniel Noja was all in with jacks covering, so jacks just had to hold versus the ace-7 suited. Flopped basically dead.
Yeah, flopped the flush.
Flopped the flush.
Yeah.
Board pair on the turn, gave Daniel some outs, but they are still heads up in the Drakakis Players Championship.
Thanks for that, Josh, in the chat. Yeah, so my eyes weren't deceiving me there. That's what it looked like to me too. That I would imagine the arms would have gone up in celebration instead of the dealer reaching for chips there. So it's still going.
5 raise.
So Travis
900,000.
on the button there raises it up. Ace-9.
Deciding to put the 21 in here. Really interesting decision from Travis. It's going to get 2 immediate folds, but thought potentially may even be good enough to raise and induce ace-9. Definitely at the bottom of that range, but just slamming in the 20 BBs there with the ace-9. Interesting to see from Travis Endesby. So many great results recently.
We have an all-in the call in the Drakakis Players Chip with ace-7 at risk against Pocket Jack.
Probably here in the background there, the all-ins continue in the Drakakis. Let you know
3, all hearts.
if it finishes up
Is of hearts. He has
ending.
The nuts, 10 on the
Some shots of that too.
turn, giving Jack some life. And the river is a 4 of diamonds.
So
ace-7 will
it's
double.
another one of those pretty hands that you look down at. Angel, Jack 10 suited. Might have been I reckon just listening to that, that might have been the one we were filming outside. Because remember, we're on a half an hour delay here, so
We are on a delay.
So we're outside
trying as best we can to bring you.
Yeah, filming stuff and turning it around. But of course, there's a half hour delay, so you're not going to get it live.
That is, I just wanted to, that is Terry Johnson that's heads up in the Drakakis Players Championship. And Terry was the one with the ace-7 suited there as he flops the flush. As interesting here, Josh opting for call. Maybe looking to induce something out of Alex in the big blind. I think it could be coming as we're having some graphics issues here. And Alex, this is interesting from Josh. First Angels open off that stack. Not going with the nines.
140,000.
Could be a function of Alex being in the big blind, looking to induce a hand like this to squeeze. But Josh certainly a very experienced player, opting for call as we're trying to do the best we can here.
Yeah, just catching up here.
I feel like Angel is C-bet and Alex will call. It could be a board where Angel fires a second barrel as well, so potentially see some fireworks. I doubt this will be the last chip that goes into the pot. Maybe now, this is a card in which not too many more chips in the pot will come because we have enough showdown value. We now beat some of Alex's 8x hands that defend and call, which he's very weighted to that type of holding as well. So now we beat those. Could go check.
420.
It doesn't.
420.
It's interesting. Angel opting for close to pot. We're really seeing why these guys are the best.
Obviously, these aren't the players in the hand.
No,
so we're just we're getting the graphics updated, but not the picture. We just have explaining again every so often this little ghosting issue and the cameras just lock up.
Looks like he's gotten Alex to fold there. He does. Alex succumbs to a large turn barrel. I think maybe that could be designed to fold out some weak King X holdings that Alex has. And Angel opting to turn third pair into a bluff. Really interesting to see. This is why it's so good just sitting here in the booth and watching how these guys do it as we are panning out to the Sportelli stacker.
This is it. So there's Adrian in the middle there. And what a surprise, he's talking. So this is a pop-up event named after the great Adrian Sportelli, 2K entry. So you know that there's a few things going on out there. And unfortunately, we've still just got this issue with the locked up camera at the moment. Bear with us. Doesn't affect the graphics.
Let's go, Alex.
Oh no, we've been alerted to stacks of 10. It's the cardinal sin of poker. Was that in this Sportelli stacker maybe Josh is talking about?
Yes.
The stacks of 10 is one of my most pet hates in poker. Just something that shouldn't frustrate me that really does. As we're doing our best to catch up on the stream.
Yeah, that was the Spatelli condition of entry.
You have to stack
Yes,
in tens.
yes.
You have to.
Yes.
You couldn't put me in that event. If you put me in that event for $2,500, I'd turn it down, I think.
So again, just trying to sort of hear what's going on more than anything here.
Three's all in.
I'm going to try and bring you some action as our stream's lagging, but Malcolm's going to find an all-in
720.
here. 18 effective, ace-5 suited.
Yeah, but we've got to be on it. Like,
interesting spot here for Jordan Westmoreland. It's one of the only times we can... I believe the graphics are correct.
yeah, they're correct. They're just behind. That's our only issue. So we've got...
Jordan finds the call versus Malcolm here. One of the only times we'd ever be able to call an 18 big blind jam with ace-10 offsuit is versus Malcolm Trainer. Definitely not a confrontation we'd often see, I don't think, but Malcolm's still going to win this hand 30% of the time.
We're going to have to guess a little bit here. And leaves Malcolm only with the 5s to get out of this.
What a call by Jordan Westmoreland. Probably a spot in which most players might bin this, but he knows how light Malcolm's going to squeeze, and this call is just a function of how good Malcolm Trainer is. And that will be the sad end of Malcolm Trainer. It's been an absolute pleasure watching and commentating him over the last couple of hours. Very sad to see him go. As a fan of the game, student of the game, as a lot of us are.
Want us to wait?
As Malcolm Trainer departs, hate to see it, but I mean, Jordan Westmoreland deciding now's the time as we say GG's to the incredibly talented Malcolm Trainer.
But again, you know, we saw how good Jordan is just 2 days ago in the 7,500. Played exceptionally well too, and that's why when we get so many good players up against each other.
Of course.
Just going into the chat there, guys, we don't have a second RFID table, unfortunately. So we can't...
No one would love to show the Drakakis Players Championship more than us.
Of course,
we love that tournament,
of course.
we do, but obviously $250,000 up top here compared to 30K. It's really hard for us to justify not putting this one on. But we have done our best. We've been able to get some footage and regular updates of the Drakakis Players Championship. Of course, the tournament I love. We all love it. Prestigious Australian tournament.
5 calls. Heads up.
Really apologising about this stream. We've got to try and fix this. Yeah, we know we have an issue with the camera. We're doing our best.
60. C8 bet 60,000.
Josh has opted for raise here with the pocket threes off. Just trying to do our best. I reckon he's raised threes from the hijack off 16 and.
How much is 60? See 5 calls.
Board that's going to favour us often, but pocket threes. Interesting card here, quite dynamic, and Josh which we saw opt for the passive route previously with pocket nines, opting for the more aggressive route here with pocket threes. I mean, we don't really get here with a worse hand. So if this is a spot in which we can buckle up, but definitely that 10 favouring Travis for sure. Josh is unfazed by that. And that's definitely going to be a function of how bad our hand really is on this board in this specific spot. I mean, Travis might be able to find the fold here. But he does look suspect. Let's see what he comes with.
10 seconds. Five fold.
He does bin it. And fortune will favour the brave. As Josh Hutchins finds a much needed little chip up there. So, you know, taking her out with the threes that we wouldn't often see. As we welcome a new player onto our table. And that's going to mean we have 2 six-handed tables. And that will also mean we are 5 off the money. $260,000 up top to our winner of the TLPT main event. Guys, stop having a crack at me. I'm well aware that the camera isn't working. We're doing our best as the graphics are correct. So just trying to do as much as I can for you here. And Alex did take the King 2 offsuit from the hijack only an hour ago. Nice to balance that open out with pocket aces. Might be getting a defense here from Andy. Don't know much about Andy. We know he's got 4 start stacks. And 50 big blinds. Andy does defend. We'll see a flop. 10-7-4. These are one of those spots where I'm really interested to see how Alex proceeds, what type of size we go for on a board such as this. That ace of clubs working as well. As I said, it's just a pleasure to be able to do this. And Alex opts for check.
Six checks.
Probably going to go. See what size Alex comes with here. So it looks like Alex has decided that his hand is a 2-streeter, but it's a big 2-streeter. As he goes for half. Takes that one down. Well, approaching in on 4.5 million chips. Good for close to 9 start stacks. The path to victory for the TLPT main event is going to be through Alex Linsky for sure and certain. As Travis looks to count out Alex's stack. We'll be back with you in just a moment as we try and sort these little bugs out.
80,000. One fold. 2 fold. Seconds. 5 folds. 6 folds. 7 calls. Heads up. 7 checks. bets, 75,000. 7 fold. One raise 80,000, 2 fold. 5 fold. 6 fold. 7 fold.
Yeah, we are back. Now, it does appear that now the camera has frozen. We're back in business now, as should be right from now to the end of the stream, as I've worked that issue out and we're back. Look at that monstrosity from Alex Linsky. Registration is closed for the Sportally Stacker. They're on the funnel table now, I believe. Such a camera's just come back on. We should be good to go from now. So we're back, Harvey. Sorry about that.
Sorry for the disappearance. Had to go and fix all that up, and it's fun being commentator and producer, so enjoying it though.
6 fold, 7 fold, 8 fold.
Oh, what is this?
Oh my lord.
Get back out.
Oh no, it's always when I sit down, isn't it?
Alex is going to Hollywood here for some time, given Angels under the gun open, but he's about to send this in.
Call, C1 calls. 2 fold.
Okay.
You said call, not fold, Harvey. What do you mean?
Oh, he called the all in. Sorry, he did say call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Call can sound like fold sometimes, but you were shocked.
It just sounded like fold. I was just like, what? Okay.
This is right in the window for Linsky, but we do have those backdoor clubs. One king's been folded.
But he's rocketed here from nowhere. He's going to stay alive.
One out and one out only for Alex Linsky. Obviously, he was still going to have a pile of chips, but Travis Endersby with a huge double there.
Just incredible. That's 1 foot out the door, and hang on, I'm back.
We're back. We're well and truly back.
He takes a stack of chips off Alex.
Don't see Alex lose those ones too often, but it's nice to know he's human like the rest of us.
I thought we were definitely losing a player there. The update is just on how we're going to go tonight with play. I don't know, have you said where we're finishing tonight?
No, I'm not even aware.
Okay, so 7's the money. We're not going to stop this before we get to the money. So we either get to 7 left,
or 2 a.m.
Or 2 a.m.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
Maybe pop back out, get us a latte. Get yourself a latte as well.
I thought it might finish a little earlier than that, but well, look, we could have been down to 11 a minute ago, so we've got a fair bit to go.
We do. I got to be honest. I mean, it's sad to see Malcolm go, but this is just going to be a tutorial for any poker player looking to play in a live Australian tournament on how to go about your business, because this is some of the best we've got, and this is a free stream available on the internet, Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. If you want to learn how the best do it, look no further. Late on Tuesday night.
260. So 2 raised.
Interesting to see how Jordan Westmoreland proceeds here. Yeah, we'd look to see a flop with the majority of the time, but over 30 effective. It's going to be hard to bin this one, and I feel like Jordan Westmoreland appears to agree.
7 calls.
And we will see a flop. Another one of these high card, low card, big blind 3 bets. How many of those have we seen in the last 3 or 4 hours? Alex Linsky, Angel.
And there's the queen.
Got a wheel draw as well for Angel. Don't forget about that. Backdoor diamonds for Jordan Westmoreland too. And I guess the 45k of the last continuation bet from Angel. Let's see what we come with here. It's maybe 125. I feel like could be a nice number. And we'll be met with a call from Jordan Westmoreland.
240. 240.
Comes with half. Very interesting. I feel like he's... This is interesting to see how Jordan Westmoreland proceeds versus this half pot size bet. We do got those backdoor diamonds, but it's going to be really hard for us to proceed with many other hands other than call, because this is such a polar spot from Angel. We're either really far in front or really far behind. So we want to keep those hands in that Angel has. Plus, if we are behind, we get a chance to pick up more equity on the turn. Really interesting card here. So Angel starts to slow down. Now we've paired. This is amazing to watch. It really is. Even that half pot size, something that I don't see a lot in these 3-bet pots. Angel mulling over his decision now.
What I love about the graphics here too is we know what's been folded, so we can see that one of those 2s has been folded.
I wonder if the Ace of Hearts plays any part in our decision making here to see if we fire another barrel. It might have something to do with what size we choose. This is incredible to watch. Really, really getting into the weeds here of the intricacies of No Limit Hold'em. Angel still mulling over this decision. Tells you how close this could be between check or bet. Second time bank used. That Ace of Hearts has got to play some part. Of course, this spot's so polarizing. Could be into a 3rd time bank here for Angel.
There's a call in the 15k main event. King Queen up against pocket aces. King Queen's at risk. Flop is Jack.
So we have an all-in. Yeah, that's on another table.
Turn.
All in announced.
This is a 1.3x pot. Oh no, apologies. It's the SBR is 1, so it's a pot-sized jam on the turn from Angal. My God, can we find the call, Jordan Westmoreland? What a spot here. As I said, the nature of these spots is so polarizing. We're very far in front or very far behind, but
well, he's going to take his time here either way.
Ace-3 is a very significant holding our opponent could have on the bottom end of those 3 bets. Cut off first big blind. Now, Jordan's so rarely going to be dead, but it appears that Yisha has cracked aces in that all-in. So that King Queen versus aces all-in call on the other table. King Queen appears to have won and Yisha will survive. let's focus on this hand here. Angel. SPR of 1. We're so rarely dead, but Jordan Westmoreland has made correct decision after correct decision for days on end on stream. He's probably sick of the bright lights of the stream as he looks up at them now. Oh my God, this is just such a tough spot. Jordan weighing up everything he knows about Angel. Played together at length for a significant period of time. Angel in the booth with us not that long ago. Had so much respect for Jordan Westmoreland's game. Can Jordan find it? He doesn't. Fortune favours the brave yet again on the featured table. Oh, you can't blame him for bidding that one.
I was going to say, Jinxie, we've jotted down some of the really big hands here, and they've almost all been incredible fold. Couldn't find an incredible call there.
Correct. Correct. Now, you know, that spot is definitely complex, especially when Angel goes half pot, full pot. Not often something seen in 3-bet pots. Now, it could be a function of Jordan Westmoreland's stack size and picking up that little bit of extra equity we needed on the turn. Not sure if the Ace of Hearts plays a role in deciding to jam the turn. His players are world class. It'd be interesting to try and get their insights.
So,
as Jordan's got to decide, basically, he is rarely dead, but as I said, very far in front or very far behind, because these big blind 3-bet spots are so polarizing. We saw Alex Linsky's twice squeezed all 3-bet out of the big blind. One hand was King 4 offsuit, the other hand was Pocket Queens. Now, often we can't balance our range in a very small sample size, but we've seen so many big blind 3-bets in the last 3 days at this buy-in level. That's something that's obviously going through Jordan Westmoreland's mind, and he's decided that Angel had value this time, and one of the times where obviously not incorrect to fold, but Jordan's made the correct decision so many times, calling off the 20 big blind jam multi-way versus Malcolm Trainer. This time, the best hand went into the muck.
probably don't know the guy well enough to get inside his mind, Braden, but I'm sure that he also feels as long as I've got chips, I'm a chance here. He really backs himself, and maybe, you know, just in that situation, stay alive. Still got a decent number of chips.
I mean, very fair point, because we did see him, I don't know, I've brought the hand up 100 times, but we did see him 3-bet the 10s for half his stack. You know, again, there's many reasons to do that. One of them could definitely be, I've got 20 big blinds left. I've got plenty of workability, and our stack now has starting to get to become worth a lot of real AUD dollars. Now, we are 5 off the money, 7 pay. 20 big blinds is more than enough to keep our chance within the tournament, and you know, it's very hard to be dead on that board, but sometimes we could be. Jordan Westmoreland finding it's not a spot that he wanted his tournament life to end, and won't be happy to see that in half an hour's time, that he did run into one of Angel's bottom of his 3-bets.
So Angel again here, was probably banking on the flush, but he has hit his 6. He's 94%. Of course, he's not going to know that.
Small blind versus button. It's rare, but some of the time we do have the best hand.
Well, now he's
in
got 2
theory.
pair, though.
Now we usually do. how Angel proceeds here.
What happened?
Opts for half pot.
Bye bye.
What happened? Ice cream versus King Jack. Ice cream 10 run it. Actual run it. She's on fire. She's on fire.
Rivet as
Oh,
well.
is that the one?
Yeah.
Hopping with the pot.
I did a stack, only 600 or so, but you know.
So sometimes those little suited connectors play out really well, don't they?
I feel like that's a really interesting hand. Now, we've got two pair. It's not often we have two pair and a flush draw that's busted. Very hard to be able to have a... Very hard. So those diamonds do play a role in what sides we choose on the river now. We probably want our opponent to have diamonds if we decide to check and let them bluff. Now we've got those diamonds in our hand. Our opponent is weighted a little bit towards more showdown value than if we didn't have diamonds. So Angel decides to go for half pot. It's very likely bang on the money. Interesting to think about how our cards interact with our opponent's range as well.
Are we hand to hand or
As we are getting a new player. Oh, no, we're losing Jordan Westmoreland, I believe.
8 raisins, Katie.
We must be 5 and 5.
It just clicked over then.
There we go. We must be 5 and 5 as we...
Oh, have a look what Angel's got.
5, 6 times again.
Did they shuffle that deck?
No, I don't think they did. I don't think they did.
This time, though, he's up against an ace queen.
Now, if we are 5 and 5, we must have a final table of 8. We'll just confirm that one for you as Angel will be seeing a flop here with the 5-6 suited. Travis again mulling over all of his options. Sure. We are closing in on the money though, so I won't be surprised to see our players use a full time bank. We've got some information about...
Yeah, it's going to be a 9-handed final table.
So we must be hand for hand here. This could be the first hand of hand for hand, maybe? Actually, I don't think it will be. We do have these shot clocks in play. And if we're going 5 and 5, just see how FT of 9, thanks Josh. As well, okay, we have a problem here because Angel can't have what he says he has.
This happened to us yesterday.
Once yesterday it did.
Yeah, so it picked up, for some reason, it picked up the same hand that a
He
player
had
last, the previous hand.
That's so correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Or no, I'm not going to even go for
Don't
the other option.
don't even do it.
Jokes. That was so. Yeah, this actually did happen yesterday. We had a player with the exact same hand, and we thought, oh, he's got the same hand, and no, he didn't.
At both times, the card has been on the flop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flops that come out that we would never have noticed.
Anyway, the end result of that is that Josh picked up a small pot with the ace queen, and yeah, so we confirm we're 5 and 5. We'll lose one more player. We'll go to a final table of 9, and then we will either be playing down to 7 tonight, which is the money, or our cut-off time of 2 a.m. And let's hope it's the former.
I'm known to be a wagering man, and I would willing to be putting a lot of money on we won't be here at 2.
Well, I've got to get my beauty sleep before the... well, actually, it's not before the Warn Bounty, because I'm coming back for the final table of this tomorrow.
Yeah, Josh, I'm not sure if you remember the hand in the high-stakes cash game at the Aria where Doug Polk had Queen 10 and It was a queen of clubs in his hand and a queen of clubs on the board, and they were playing 500, 1,000,
No.
200. It's on YouTube.
Oh, no.
It's on YouTube. It's one of the highest stakes cash games at the Aria ever, and it just so happened to be there was genuinely 2 of the same cards in the deck, something that should never happen. Viral moment in poker a long time ago. Still on YouTube. Obviously, that's not what has occurred here. It's just picked up Angel's last hand. As Zara will join us now. If you were watching the stream a mere few hours ago, you would have seen Zara deal 40 minutes of absolute mayhem.
Well,
cooler after
again.
cooler after cooler, cooler after cooler, and yeah, no, it definitely happened. I remember watching Doug Polk hand as a single race pot too, and I don't know
How
why.
does something like that happen?
It's got to have something to do with the automatic shuffler, I would think. Even then, I'm being very generous. You know, if Aria decides to hold a cash game of those limits, how it can happen is beyond belief, but it did.
Does a card from a previous deck get caught in the shuffler or something
That's
like that?
the only thing I personally can think of as...
Because they spread the cards out on the table. You see there's 52 cards, you see all the decks, and then they start shuffling them. That's the only way, isn't it?
Well, I mean, these automatic shufflers are so expensive, and you wouldn't really ever think that it could happen, but it did. As some footage from the outer tables yet again.
I think this might be the Drakakis. I'm just getting a bit of a word that perhaps this could be an all-in the Drakakis. Again, just waiting for this hand. And we get the fold. Let's hop on over and see this. I'm pretty sure it's an all-in.
Jack turn versus 9-6.
Yeah.
9-6 at risk. 9-6 does take the lead.
Oh, there's the Jack.
It's drawing dead to a 6. 9's no good for a straight. And that'll be it.
2. So that is the end of our Drakakis. Celebrate. Put the arm. There we go.
There we go. If we list the accolades of the state of Australia, the territory of Australian Capital Territory, James Heard, and then it's Danielle Noja.
There you go.
Canberra's finest is a Drakakis Players Champion. $12,500 ring and $31,900, I think, up top there. Such an accomplished player, and Daniel is just can play all the games. You know, he could play the dealer's choice 30-game Stairway 7 Deuce Badoogie at WSOP or whatever they call it. And he's also a Drakakis Players Champion. Man, a few words, man, a few emotions. It was good to see the thumbs up there.
Good on him.
Glad we were able to bring that to you guys, that footage.
Yeah, again, we would have loved to have streamed that event. It's one of our favourites here too. And glad we were able to get out there and show you a bit of it as Linsky has kings again.
And Andy should just fold this. Oh, it's already been done.
There you go. So Linsky sitting on top here, 5-handed. Got a table 5-handed just outside our rail, and that obviously equates to 10 players left. One more and we get to our final table, and as I said earlier, we are either playing it down to the money, which is 7, or through till 2. I think either way the plan is that we will resume this. Well, if we finish earlier, we can resume it a little earlier tomorrow, but if it does go through to 2, it'll be 2 p.m. start for the final table tomorrow.
Okay, 2 p.m.
If
Gives you a
we-
little sleep in, Harvey.
If we get this done by 1, it'll probably be a 1 start, I'd say. We've got to give the players 12 hours. That's what we're working on. And the dealers and the staff. Everyone needs to be able to have enough of a break. And us.
And us.
You won't hear me tomorrow evening, though. As I said, I'm lucky enough to be playing in the Warren Bounty event, which I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night.
Maybe that's why I made the slip up before, calling you Harvey Specter, because you are a celebrity in tomorrow night's Celebrity Bounty.
Yeah, I think I just scrape in. I must have been short on celebrities.
As we do start with 10 time banks here, you'll see as Angel just turns the stone colds. However, Trav does defend bottom pair and got a flush draw to go with it. I'm not sure it's blind versus blind, especially after the flop has gone check that Travis can fold just yet.
Angel's played this well, hasn't he?
He's going to do that club check. He realises he does have one, and it's quite emotive here from Trav. We can't fold our hand just yet, but it looks like, oh no, yeah, very good. So, a flush draw.
Would want to see a 3. Okay.
3 would be danger. 3 would be danger, but Angel with the stone colds. Interesting to see how this small blind versus big blind confrontation works out in terms of our size on the river. Our opponent is more weighted towards pairs, right? So having the ace and the 7 of clubs in our hand, usually a hand we look to check for deception or anything like that. It's just basically we've got a good hand and we want to put chips in the middle.
No, it would have been a great check if you've been able to find it.
Goes for 2x pot. Interesting. Kind of. I mean, it's getting really dicey, this size. It's met with an inquisitive look from Travis Endersby. Of course, WPT and Triton final tableist. He's thinking now, could this just be, you know, an ace-X hand that contains a club? We do have the 3 of clubs in our hand, but there's still a lot of combos of those hands, which would be the ace of clubs and 7, 9.
10 seconds.
Deuce obviously makes a wheel as well, so
5.
all of this going through Travis's mind. He's perplexed by this overbet from Angel. Now, it could be a size we'd look to use if we did have a hand, say for example, ace-8 off with the ace of clubs, designed to get Travis to fold a hand that he's got. We've got the stone cold nuts now, so really good for Angel to balance this out. These are the thoughts that are going through Travis's mind.
It's not a hand that Travis thinks he's got, is it? The nuts. He doesn't think he's got that.
I mean, once it goes, he's called. He has put it in. Wow. Yeah. Goodness me, Travis. He literally, basically, you know, once we get to that decision at the end, he basically is putting Angel on specifically ace-X of clubs, right? We bet our flush draw on the turn, and we go big on the river, designed to get Travis to fold that. And it's just such a credit to how good Angel is that Travis can look him up there with bottom pair. But, you know, what a size.
Look at his face.
He's, yeah. That size is incredible from Angel. Just knows that this is a spot in which his specific hand can go large.
So our room has got very quiet too. On the outside you can see all those tables are now vacant. The Drakakis finishing. The Spitelli I think is either done or towards the end of being done. all eyes now on this main event of the TLPT. It's 260 up top.
260,000 through the winner. So,
$1,370.
we might see Linsky tighten up some of those looser opens we've seen, because we now are operating with virtually the same stack as Angel on our direct left, so we might see Alex just tighten up on those opens a little bit. We are 3 off the money here. $35,000 will go to the 7th place getter. 8th place getter gets 0, so
it's a bit of a difference, isn't it?
There's no bigger difference, really. There's a very big difference, as even though we are 5-handed, we'll probably see Alex would still look to raise a lot of hands, but just Angel being on his left, wouldn't be surprised to see maybe 20 or 15% shaved off that range. Is there maybe an all-in and a call on the other table?
Right, so we're just going to pause here because, of course, if we do lose someone...
I think that someone may have been lost.
Okay, so we're going to go to 9-handed here on this feature table. If
try and get the information here for you, but it does appear we may have lost a player, and we could be on the FT of the TLPT main event.
Get back out.
All right, so we're just waiting to see what happens here, but I think Josh on the chat, I think we know who it is too. Just waiting for confirmation, but we think it might be Jungle Man, who would have been so entertaining.
Oh, that's so disappointing for the stream. I believe Jungle did lose the aces versus King Queen, versus Yisha, which must have been a big all-in confrontation, but losing Jungle Man, I would have loved to have commentated on Jungle. That's incredible.
I'll just confirm that for you. And
we must be going on some type of break.
Yeah, just waiting on, again, because we're half an hour behind, well, our deal is up. So I'm going to assume that we're going to reset the table here and come back with our 9. We might just have a quick drink break and leg stretch, and we'll be back. It's probably not going to be more than 10 minutes, I wouldn't think. And stay with us. We're playing down to 7.